You want to run a brainstorming session with your team. You might not be sure what the right way to go about it is, or if you should even be running a brainstorming session in the first place. Stay with me and I will show you how to brainstorm like a pro. I'm going to show you 2 different techniques you can use and 3 things to watch out for so that your brainstorming session goes as smoothly as possible. I'm Lowell and I help teams get better at problem solving and collaborating. Please be sure to help out my channel by liking and subscribing to this video. Thanks. So why brainstorm? Think about your team and the touch points they have with their wider organization, clients, suppliers, and between themselves. Think about the individuals on that team. They know things you don't, potential gold nuggets of insights, data, information, ideas for new products and services, ideas how to improve existing products and services. You want to extract that information in an effective and collaborative way. That is what a brainstorm is for. Now, there are different ways to brainstorm. I'm going to make the assumption that your team is all together in the same place. Now, that could be they're actually physically in a room together or they're on the same video call, like a Zoom call. Now, let's think about the objective of the brainstorm. Is it serious or is this for lighthearted bonding and fun? Now, the reason why I want to call attention to the objective of the brainstorm and, the outcome that you really want to get out of it is because there is this key downfall that you need to watch out for with brainstorming sessions, and it dictates what type of brainstorming technique you actually use. This phenomenon is called groupthink. You may have heard of it. So groupthink is when everybody in the brainstorming session strives for conformity. Now, this doesn't actually have to be in a brainstorming session. It's when any group of people are together and they're discussing something. People tend to converge on the idea that is going to be the harmonious option. It's going to be the one that causes the least amount of conflict or no conflict whatsoever. It's human nature for us to do this. And it's important to watch out for it because it hinders innovation like nothing else. The outcome tends to be mediocre, run-of-the-mill, standard, median, meet-in-the-middle ideas that don't really break any ground. When we absolutely cannot afford groupthink to occur, we go for an incognito brainstorming session. Incognito brainstorming sessions are anonymous, and even though the team are writing their points all at the same time, they're doing it privately so no one can see the ideas that they're jotting down on their post-it notes. No one knows who is writing what. This technique keeps ideas pure and avoids groupthink. So let's give an example. We're selling a new service package for electric vehicles, but the sales are to be less than desired. People aren't really picking them up as we had hoped. And we want to know why. So we decide to have a brainstorming session. So we grab we grab a few experts, no more than 10. 10 is my magic number for brainstorming. And we get them in a room and onto this brainstorming session. So we've got people who have important touch points to this topic of or service packages not selling. We've got representatives from the product team who have put this package together. We've got our customer insights manager. We've got a customer service manager. We've got salespeople on the floor actually interacting with customers. So a couple sales advisors from our dealerships and or sales managers and a few people from the marketing team. You can pick whoever you want. I'm just, brainstorming people as we go along. And then we lead them into the session. So let's think, so we're on the incognito session. Let's look at what that looks like. Okay, everybody, welcome to this brainstorming session. Today, we're going to think about why our service packages for new electric vehicles aren't selling. As you know, the sales are to be less than desired, and we really want to find out why. You've been invited here because you have information and touch points that are super relevant to this session, and you have the answers locked away in your minds. So we are going to run this brainstorming session to get to the crux of why or service packs aren't doing as well as we had hoped. So everybody has a pack of sticky notes, and I've got a pack here to demonstrate, and a pen. So I've got a Sharpie fine point here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend some time thinking about the things based on our experience that are preventing our service packs from selling. What do we know based on our own insights or own experiences for why the sales aren't going as well as we had hoped? Now, you've got a pack of sticky notes in front of you and a pen. We're going to spend 5 minutes. We're going to spend 10 minutes now. I'm going to put 10 minutes on the clock. And you're going to write one idea per sticky note as to why you feel the service packs aren't selling. And now let me give you some examples. It's really important to give people examples so that, you know, they feel more confident with what they're doing. Because, hey, they might not have brainstormed ever before. We want to make people feel comfortable. So let me give you some examples. So one of the reasons I might think is the service packs are hard to understand. So I would write that on a sticky note. Hard to understand. I might think that customers are being approached at the wrong time. So I'll put that down, customers at the wrong time, and a bunch of other reasons I might be thinking, right? Anyway, I'm gonna write one idea per sticky note, and I am going to stack them up as I write them. Now, as this is an incognito session and anonymous, it's really important that your handwriting is legible, because if it's not, we're going to either have to discard that sticky note completely when we do start to review them, or we're going to have to ask who wrote them, and then your identity is revealed and it's no longer incognito. So the anonymity allows us to be truthful and free with our ideas. We don't have to worry about judgment. We don't have to worry about pleasing somebody who's more senior in the room or somebody who's a bit more abrasive or a bit more vocal. We're capturing pure ideas. We're capturing people's actual experiences, and that's gonna help us to find what is causing the problem. So once everybody has their ideas, and you know, I've got pink sticky notes here, but those were the ones that were just available. You know, so I suggest everybody use the same color sticky notes so that, you know, you can maintain anonymity, maintain anonymity, and yeah, no one knows who wrote what. So you just use a standard yellow standard pack of sticky notes. That's absolutely fine. And make sure everybody has the same pen. Now, once the 10 minutes are up, we let everybody go to the board or the wall at the same time and stick up their sticky notes. So stick everything on the wall. And once everything's stuck up on the wall, then we now have everybody's ideas. We can go into the next stage of the activity, which is to categorize the sticky notes, remove some duplicates, and vote on the ones that we think are the most pertinent. And then we now have a list of prioritized ideas surrounding why our service packs aren't doing so well on the market. And that's an incognito session. Now, the second type of brainstorming session is an open session. And let me show you how that looks. The open session is when we're all together brainstorming. We can see in real time what people are writing, what their ideas are, and we're all sticking it up as and when we're done. So there's no anonymity, there is no privacy in this brainstorming session. There's 7 rules for brainstorming in this way. Let's run through them. The first rule is quantity over quality. We're giving people 10 minutes to brainstorm. We're giving them a pack of sticky notes each, or if we're doing it virtually on Miro or Mural or any other whiteboarding tool with sticky notes, we are letting people brainstorm for the same amount of time, depending on how many people you have. But here I'm thinking we've got 10 people, right? So we're going to say 10 minutes each, 10 minutes for the brainstorming session. Use as many sticky notes as you can. Come up with as many ideas as possible. Rule number 2, defer judgment. Don't judge what people have written. Defer judgment on the sticky notes that you see. And on your own ideas as well. We want free thinking, wild thinking, which brings me on to the third point. Go wild. Think about unconventional ideas. Don't feel limited. Don't feel like you have to conform to a certain ideology or it needs to be practical. We're encouraging wild ideas with this design thinking, open brainstorming session. Be visual is the next rule. We can sketch on our post-it notes, or we can draw images if we're working on an online whiteboarding tool. We can pick images and put it on our brainstorming board so that people can see and feel what we actually mean by our ideas. You know, we're visual creatures. There's a lot to be said for a picture. As I say, it says 1,000 words. So where you can put an image in, put a sketch in to bring your ideas to life in the brainstorming session. Stay on topic. Now, even though we're encouraging wild ideas and we're going for quantity over quality, it's really important that we stay to the topic that's at hand. Have I covered everything? We've got quantity over quality, stay on topic, wild ideas, defer judgment, be visual. What are the others? Man, I'm gonna have to find what the other 2 are. Man, is this dead? Build on the ideas of others. So because this is an open session, you can see what people are writing as they write it in real time. If you see something that resonates with you, build on that idea and support it and add new ideas to it. So that helps us to go wider and wilder with our ideas. And lastly, one conversation at a time. Now, with workshops, we tend to sequence our conversation so that we're not all talking at the same time. But sometimes during a brainstorming event, especially if it's a brainstorming session, if it's lighthearted and fun and jovial like this open session, then we can talk while we're brainstorming. It's a lot of fun, honestly, and some people say good ideas don't come out of this, but I've seen some brilliant ideas come out of this sort of brainstorming session. It's great when you've done a warm-up creative activity before and people are in the mood to just let loose and really not think about how good their ideas are. Once you get over that barrier, then you can really come up with some astounding ideas with this open technique. So yeah, one conversation at a time. Don't talk over people. Let everybody have the floor to speak if we're speaking while we're brainstorming. So now let's go into the 3 pitfalls to watch out for when you are conducting a brainstorming session, regardless of what type of session you choose. Number 1, too much time. A brainstorming session should feel like you have less time than you need, slightly less time than you need. You should feel slightly uncomfortable at the end when the timer is up that, man, I didn't have enough time to do that. That's absolutely fine. And that is preferable to the converse, which is, I've had too much time and now I'm bored and now I'm waiting around for other people. That's a total vibe killer and you don't want that. So yeah, if people feel like, oh, I'm running out of time, that's what you want. But you know what? You don't want to give 5 minutes when they need 10. Like, just You want to be just shy of what they need to completely finish their thoughts. Number 2, not converging. Now, this means that we have now come up with a slew of ideas. We have a lot and we just leave them there. Brainstorming is known as a divergent activity, meaning that we're starting from a core or a topic and then we're expanding outwards and coming up with as many ideas as possible relating to that core topic. That is divergent thinking. Convergent thinking is when we take all of those ideas and we boil them down to what's important. So it's super important to converge, meaning that we take all of these ideas, we discuss them, we categorize them, we vote on them, and we boil them down to that handful of ideas that we want to do something with and take forward. Without doing that, you're just brainstorming for brainstorming's sake, and people won't want to be part of your next brainstorming activity, because whilst coming up with ideas was good and it feels like we are actually extracting some important information here and putting it down on paper, if we're not going to do something with that, then it feels like we're wasting time, and we don't want to feel like we're wasting time. Which segues quite nicely into the third pitfall, which is weak next steps. Once we have our ideas, or boiled down ideas, or a handful of ideas that we feel like, whoa, this is some serious gold, guys. And in the example that we looked at earlier was why our service packages aren't selling. We have experts in the room, we have people here with touch points. We have people here with information that we as the managers or the leaders or the facilitator for this brainstorm don't have. This is important information for the company. We want to make sure that we do something with that. Not only will that positively impact our customers because we can improve the product offering, but it will also give credit where credit is due to the people who were part of that brainstorming session, and they can see that they are important members of this team. Their knowledge, their expertise, and their touch points are really important to moving the business forward, and they are valued. So it's super important that we have strong next steps. So we need to make sure that we have strong project actions that are followed up on and that are executed so that the brainstorming session is as effective as it can be. A last minute top tip that I have for you: any meeting, any workshop, any activity that you have with a team, you have to make sure that the next steps are completely understood by the team, that they're strong and that they're tangible. Because without this, your meeting just ends into some kind of wishy-washy mess that nobody wants to be a part of, and people feel like their time's been wasted. So to recap, today we have covered how to brainstorm like a pro. We've looked at why it's important to brainstorm, when you should think about brainstorming, and the 2 different techniques that you can use: an incognito technique or an open brainstorming technique. We've also looked at 3 pitfalls to brainstorming so that you can easily avoid them and make your session as strong and effective as possible. If you're liking the content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell notification so you know when a new video is posted. And please connect with me in the comment section as well. I want to know if these techniques are something that you're going to look into and use, and what kind of content you want to see regarding collaboration and building effective teams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.